How could Shakur beat him if he can't hurt him? That would be my question.
Listen, you don't have to hurt him. You just have to outscore him. You know, Shakur takes a good shot, though. You know, he's a specialist. That's why some fights that he doesn't look good in, because he's so superior. And it's boring watching sometimes. But he's a specialist. He knows what he's doing. He's hard to beat.
I think it's going to be a great fight. I think that I keep mentioning Mayweather versus Castillo. If you haven't seen that fight, watch that fight. Castillo beat Mayweather with the same style.
He know that. He know that. So I'm the best fighter in boxing.
Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science.
How you beat Teofimo Lopez? Because there's a blueprint out to beat Teofimo Lopez. Ain't no blueprint out to beat no damn Shakur Stevenson. Lopez don't know how to beat Shakur Stevenson. Ain't no damn blueprint. But I tell you who got a blueprint on how to beat Lopez. That's Shakur Stevenson. He know how to beat Lopez. Yeah, Lopez don't know how to beat him.
Boxing legends deliver fearless predictions as they dissect the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, debating speed against power, defense versus pressure, and which fighter keeps their composure when the intensity rises.
To Teofimo Lopez. That's a good damn fight, too. See, that fight is skill for skill, as good as this fight. Yeah. But they just haven't been around long enough to prove themselves yet. But skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because where they're in their career. Because how accomplished they are. These two guys are also equal where they're in their career. Because they're accomplished, but not as accomplished as these two. But they're still equal. Sure. Accomplished. You understand me? So those are two good damn fights and one boxing.
Boxing legends and analysts are divided yet fully locked into the Stevenson versus Lopez showdown.
Ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy. And twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes. That's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy. You know, because they don't fight, you know, as normally as most boxers fight. They give angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, you know what I'm saying, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of boxers. A lot of people are rolling with Shakur, and I understand because he's dope. But I don't know who's going to show up what day. What Shakur showing up, or what Tio's going to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, you know, we gonna always Shakur gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him.
Does go back and forth. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Tio, what I do is I remove all the negative about what we know about Tio. I remove all of that and then I look at the fighter. That still is a good fighter. You know what I mean? Strong, fast, you know what I mean? Explosive, unpredictable. And he can hurt you. And every time he's had to step up, he really did step up. You know what I mean? But besides the Cambodia fight. But he stepped up. So I think Shakur. Yeah. My first mind told me Shakur. And I thought about it, yeah. I'm picking Shakur by decision. But because this is fighting, anything can happen. You can't count Tio out.
Former welterweight champion Shawn Porter has recently sided with Lopez, highlighting his versatility and improved adaptability, particularly at 140 pounds. Porter believes Lopez now has clearer routes to victory against Stevenson's measured and disciplined style.
Pierre said, you know, the twitchiness, that athleticism that Teofimo has is what gives someone like Shakur problems, because it throws off his timing.
Yep.
Shakur is flat out amazing. I've watched this kid. He can find anybody's time.
Right.
So if you give him the space with just like feints and stuff like that, he gonna still pick it up and he's still gonna find it. I got a feeling this thing is not gonna be boring and dry.
Boxing legend Tim Bradley has been firm in his stance, saying Stevenson is too precise and too smart for Teofimo Lopez. Bradley believes Shakur already has a blueprint to beat Teo, and that Lopez doesn't have the answers to solve him.
You know the damn rest. Can somebody please tell me how you beat Shakur Stevenson? Please, somebody tell me how the hell do you beat some damn Shakur Stevenson? I'll wait. How you beat Shakur Stevenson? Can somebody please, on the contrary, please tell me how the hell do you beat Teofimo Lopez? How you beat Teofimo Lopez? Because there's a blueprint out to beat Teofimo Lopez. Ain't no blueprint out to beat no damn Shakur Stevenson. Lopez don't know how to beat Shakur Stevenson. Ain't no damn blueprint. But I tell you who got a blueprint on how to beat Lopez. That's Shakur Stevenson. He know how to beat Lopez. Yeah, Lopez don't know how to beat him. Hell no.
Teddy Atlas praised Shakur for his performance against William Zepeda, noting that Stevenson blended pressure with his trademark movement, worked effectively both inside and out, and showed he can manage distance while still landing crisp counters.
Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, being elusive while being aggressive, walking them down, fighting on the inside, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there, ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight, and it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur.
He emphasized that this matchup features two elite, athletic fighters whose contrasting strengths make it especially intriguing. Aoya believes a Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight will resemble a high-level chess match, where discipline ultimately outweighs raw explosiveness. While Teofimo brings speed, power, and unpredictable athleticism, Aoya argues those advantages only matter if Teo can maintain constant pressure across all 12 rounds.
Fight that I'm interested in due to the fact that, depending on who dominates their portion of the fight, that's how that fight will go. I don't think it's going to end in a knockout. I think it's going to go 12 rounds for sure. But it depends on how the first 6 rounds goes. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close?
Akoy believes Shakur will gradually wear Teofimo down by forcing him to miss and responding with clean counters and precise combinations. Teofimo may find early success if he starts fast and aggressively, but Akoy expects Shakur's calm control and high ring IQ to take over as the fight progresses.
If Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round, and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur.
Greg Hackett acknowledges that Teofimo Lopez is a serious threat because of his natural physical gifts and sharp fighting instincts. Lopez is fast, powerful, explosive, and unpredictable, capable of changing a fight in an instant with a single clean shot. Even when his technique isn't flawless, his strength and athleticism still cause problems in exchanges. Hackett points out that Lopez has repeatedly risen to the occasion against elite competition, delivering standout moments when the pressure is at its highest. Because boxing is inherently unpredictable, Hackett says Lopez can never be counted out. However, despite that danger, he ultimately leans towards Shakur Stevenson, citing Shakur's consistency, discipline, and proven ability to control fights from the opening bell to the final round.
Thoughts sometimes that cross my brain, like, damn, what if Teo catch him like real good though? You know what I mean? And hurt him. Or what if he just out hustling? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of shit that crossed my mind, but I still like Shakur for the dub. I like Shakur for the dub because he knows how to win. Like, he knows how to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's always prepared to win. So, and I think Shakur respects Teo to the point where he gonna train like he's never trained before, because this is a great fight for him. This is probably the best fight of his career up to date. Even though he's been in some great fights, this is probably the best opponent. You know what I mean? And Teo, same for Teo. So when it's like that, when you put Magic and Bird together, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And this is the kind of situation it is. Magic Johnson was nice, but Larry Bird was nice. You put them together, you get a nice game. You know what I mean? So you put these two together, you get a nice...
Gary Antuan Russell, a leading junior welterweight contender, calls this a true 50-50 fight, saying both Teofimo and Shakur enter the ring with elite skill and confidence. He explains that at this level, confidence isn't optional. It's essential for winning. Neither fighter shows fear, and that mental equilibrium is what makes the matchup so evenly balanced. Russell also outlines how Teofimo could secure victory, pointing to his natural strength, superior athleticism, and solid boxing IQ. Those traits give Teofimo a physical and explosive advantage, especially if he applies pressure correctly. When Teofimo stays disciplined, his power and athletic ability can swing the fight in his favor.